Gotcha. Who is this person going? SARTA is going. I don't necessarily have a Twitch. I do, but Facebook and all that stuff. Yeah, I know. I'm too old for the things, Iris. All right. Look at how old my cup looks. This feels like a very old man cup because it is an old man cup. I'm going to take care of that little sliver of light going on there. That's what I'm going to do. Because Princess likes to come take a look at things. So she's shimmies her way back there and in the bedroom and all that fun stuff. I did it. I'm back, Randy. I did it. You all right? You survived? Yeah? You okay there? All right. I think he's ready. You're going to take a nap when I stop paying attention to you, aren't you? Yeah, just like the blanket and the chair and making sure you're not going anywhere crazy, Dad. That's my job. All right. I want a pen as well, and all I see are pencils. Mm. Ah, cool. Cool.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to a special Twitch stream that we're doing today. If you have been following us on Facebook at SARTA, we had said we were going to do a live feed from Facebook. Technology owned me this morning, y'all. It did. It just did. And even with, you know, early start on YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff, and okay, and punch here and click that and do this. Yeah. So I came to the interface that I know and love so well, and this works. And we'll be here for at least an hour and a half or so. Maybe not both of us, but I'll be here and we'll be doing some things and we'll be talking about stuff this morning. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Where's my sign? I have to show it to my theater nerds. Where's my theater
Oh
nerds?
no! What
Theater
you bought
nerds. Theater nerds.
it doesn't show up with your filter. Yep.
Oh, yep, there
There
it
you
is.
go.
Oh, do I have to turn my filter off?
I made it.
Technology! Why are you against me today?
I have to see that cat.
Why are you against me today? Let's just do this one then. Does it show up? Theater nerds. It even tries to mess with that one. I just don't, when you're working from a small confined space, you don't need everybody to see, what's going on in the background. And mostly it would be my cat because she likes to think that, wait, mom's on the computer. It's time to visit. But it's
That
not. But it really isn't.
that's why that is so wonderful. Look at that.
Aw, friends, I haven't introduced my friend here yet, but let me introduce the little furry friend. That is Rando. Rando is the best little guest ever. Hi, Rando. Look at that baby face. Look at that face. Hi, Rando. Oh, there he got a wave. Okay, this is my buddy Rando. He likes to come and visit. I appreciate him so much. And I appreciate you too, Chris. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. I should do proper introductions now. Welcome again. Welcome again to our Saturday morning Twitch stream. That was supposed to be a Saturday morning Facebook live stream. But we're here. There's a link on our webpage on SARTA, at SARTA Theaters, for this particular Twitch link. So hopefully you can find us still. Um, I'm going to hang out here with my good friend, Chris Smith, who has been an instrument. Don't pick your nose on screen. Who has been
I was
instrumental.
just pointing at
What?
me. What? How dare you?
Don't pick your nose on screen. Who has been
I'm
absolutely
like,
wonderful and instrumental for several of our special events. And I hear tell has a special event of his own that we're going to talk about today, too. So, welcome, Chris. Just to give you guys some background, SARTA is a nonprofit community theater support group. We've been around. Truthfully, this is our 40th anniversary year.
ooh.
Yeah, yeah. So we're all grown up now, and we've been doing a number of different things. Clearly, our pandemic of 2020 caused some shifts in who we were and how we operate. And along with that, one of our longtime programs, the Ellies, went away, but we've brought some new things in, which I'll be talking about today too. Those are going to be great and wonderful and have already been a benefit to a number of our theaters. We are here to start the promo for Big Day of Giving. Big Day of Giving is coming up May 2nd, which is next week. It's already May.
Before I open, I need to start memorizing after I write the show.
After you finish writing the show. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because you have a show opening. Right.
Mhm.
So we're going to talk about a number of things. He's not just an amazing chat friend because we can do this for hours together. He's also he's also a producer, director, playwright, man about town, father of many goats and cows, and and rando and princess.
I
Who
need you
you
to
may meet
clarify
later.
the father of many cows and goats thing because there is a stigma about country people.
Uh,
I just watch over a great deal of cows that I love, and I'm friendly to goats on rando walks and runs.
on rando walks. Okay. And you know what?
No funny
the
business.
small the small animals are our friends. It's like I've got a backyard with chickens, so
There you go.
there you go.
But there was the implication that funny business was
No, there. Disclaimer: there are no shenanigans going on in
I
the theater.
annoy them. I don't.
He annoys them and tries not to get kicked on a regular basis. Okay,
Mhm.
which is also a very good thing.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
good thing.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So we're going to have fun today. I think this should be interesting. I asked Christopher if he would come and speak with me because I wanted to really have some content to share on our Tuesday Twitch too. So in a moment, I'm going to go ahead and kick off our recording, but I wanted to take some time to let everybody grab their morning cup of tea, coffee, whatever it is you're drinking. If you're joining us here on Twitch, please touch the little heart button there and you'll follow us. And what'll happen is every time I go live with one of these programs, you'll get a little tap tap on your phone, on your device that says, hey, Sarda's about to do something great. I'm going to share with you later on today some of the same content that I shared this week about what's going on this week at the theater. I'll give you the rundown on auditions and all those kinds of things. So we're excited and we're ready. And anytime we have to take a break, we'll take a momentary break and then we'll be right back. Okay? All right.
We do have normal human functions and animals.
That happens. That
Yeah.
happens. So I'm going to go ahead and hit our record button now. So, okay, we have to put on our grown-up
This
big kid
was
faces.
gold. What?
Oh, you don't have to do it again. we do not have to do it again. It's fine. But we're
It
going to
was
get serious
fantastic.
about our conversation now because you've got to promote. So
Right,
and I want to record these promotions, right? All right. So
right.
here we go. Put on your best face, Rando.
He is
He's ready. All right, we're ready. We're
sleeping.
ready. He's
Yeah.
sleeping. Well, in my next life, I want to be my house cat. That's what I want to do because oh my goodness, they live a lovely life. So again, welcome everybody who's joined us. We're so glad you're here. Oh my gosh. It was a bit of a chaotic morning getting all this set up, but we're here. We're ready to rock and roll. And we're wanting to welcome our wonderful guest, Chris Smith. Chris Smith has been with SARTA as a volunteer. Yeah, that guy. With SARTA as a volunteer, as a participant in so many of our fundraising activities for almost over a year now. It's been a
Yeah,
while.
time flies.
Time flies when we're having fun, and we have been having fun. Chris was the amazing person who came to us with an idea for this concept called Tonight Starring, which I thought was absolutely marvelous. Chris, would you like to talk? What made you come up with that? What was the impetus around Tonight Starring? Where did that
Um,
brain brilliance come from?
I think, just so you're aware, is I have no idea how to deal with flattery. So whenever you have an adjective, it's going to take me a second to be like, wait, you a mate? No, I'm a guy. Um,
You just
no,
say thank you and keep
right.
moving. There
I'm
you go.
learning. I'm learning. Self-deprecating humor is my go-to generally. Um, no, I'd always loved, like back in college, especially where you'd be done with like classes and rehearsals, and then another rehearsal, and usually another rehearsal, working on a paper, and somebody busts in your room, um, and just has a play that they're all excited about. Like, I need you down here because you do this sort of character. We're gonna get, Nate because he's this sort of, and Jenny is gonna come in, and like then you go sit down and read through a play for the first time or first couple of times and with friends, and it's this it's what the point of the thing is supposed to be. To me, it's part of the joy of theater is the immediacy of it and getting to experience different things. And as I've grown in the past 20-ish years since college, um, it's there's always been this sort of like I miss the community element where, because a play is a giant endeavor
True.
and it has to have a focus that isn't always about having the cast enjoy themselves, um, having getting to explore new things, trying something weird. When you have an audience base that likes this, you do this. If your theater company does this thing, then you do this thing. You don't get to really expand or jump out and play. But with this, it's an opportunity for people to just do something different and interesting. See if they like it. Try the hat on before you buy it. I guess that's another way of looking at theater. If you're doing a show, you have bought the damn hat,
True.
right?
And shows are not inexpensive to buy.
Like
So,
you're
yeah.
thousands of dollars deep to put the show on, so it better sell tickets. With this, the although we'd love to sell tickets, and we've been lucky enough to in a couple of these, it's really about the exploration. As well, we've got actors who, and as an actor myself, who got pigeonholed for in various communities, depending on what I walked in as.
Hmm.
Um, Especially like the first time you're on stage, is like that's what they do. That's what they, and you want to do anything against that, you have to put up a Herculean feat. With this, you can just bring you be like Deborah with the first one was, I've done a lot of comedy, and because of she has a higher voice, like nobody really lets me do dramatic work.
Hmm.
Like, okay, well, we're gonna and take me as an adult. So adult dramatic work. The next was Kate Pratt, and as liberal as the theater community tends to be, especially on average with the rest of it, we tend to go to the old classics more often than not, as opposed to promoting full, at least at that, I think I'm going to say it the right way, a sort of uh, female based lesbian piece that really explores a universal topic that hit me as a straight dude, you
Yeah.
know?
And just to give our audience some context on this too,
Yeah.
um, the very first one, when you mentioned Deborah, the name of that piece was
God of Carnage.
God of Carnage,
Mhm.
which I had never heard of before
Right.
before you guys wanted to do that one. What a wonderful show.
Right? It's
What a
so
wonderful,
nuanced.
wonderful show. And seeing it done even in the reader's theater kind of format like that, was absolutely powerful. And mind you, this, one of the things that we haven't said is this isn't 5 weeks of rehearsal
Yeah.
time leading into all of this.
Three,
This
four
is,
days tops.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is, we'll get together for a few days. We got minimal props. Let's put this show on. The second one was called Bull in a China Shop,
Yep.
which again, I had never seen or heard
No,
of before I saw it. And I
me
was just
either.
like,
Yeah.
oh, wow.
Right.
What a powerful piece. And yeah, inclusive theater like that has been woefully missing on a lot of our stages. So, yeah,
Right.
continue,
We
go ahead.
tend to do our bits and pieces of this is the sort of theater we got. These are the people we've got. Once again, we kind of focus, having been in charge of like auditioning and setting up a season for another theater company. Like, what do we have?
Mm, mm-hmm.
Well, clearly we can't do this, this, and this if we have this as far as an actors pool.
Mm,
Um, um, or there's no way that person is coming out or that group is coming out here to do this thing. So um, this is an opportunity to just like, I want to play with that. Hedda Gabler. We've all had to if you have a theater degree, you read an Ibsen, probably Doll's House, maybe Hedda Gabler, maybe Master Builder. But one of the things that I keep realizing as a Star Trek progressive is that there are just things. I'm not going to even call it like racism or bigotry, and I'm not going to put it on that level. I'm not going to set it to a 10, but there's a sort of just a preconceived prejudice in the mind of some people doing theater where that role is not supposed to be a person of color. That role is not supposed to
right,
be a person of different gender. That role is not supposed to be blah 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 blah.
right.
But of course, if you are that different gender, you are that different ethnicity, race, whatever, you certainly see that you're excluded from that.
True. Very true.
So,
Yeah.
having Serena Krastev be like, I had to read this just the same as you, have the same degree, but nobody would probably let me play this role. And then when Anthony Dewan came on and having the same conversation, like, yeah, I don't, he was like, I don't get to direct things like this very often. Like, because what does a good director have to do with putting up a good show that we've all learned from over the last 20, 30 years
True.
or 100 years of theater? So, like, my brain sees this as ridiculous. Um, and then the really nice one, Brad Bong, and this is one of the nice things that I realized we could do with tonight's starring. He's new to town, didn't know anybody,
Mm-hmm.
um, didn't know what show he wanted to do. He had his own like things that he wanted to show off and not be pigeonholed as. We found a show that he liked and gave him 8 new pals at the very least. You
Right.
know,
And an
and
introduction to the
yeah,
Sacramento theater scene. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Because and that's one of the nice things why I think SARTA is good for this sort of project. Um, as communally based as an individual company can be, um, they are very much about but me first, and I think that's a very human trait. I don't think it's a particularly negative thing. Me first.
Mm-hmm.
You can have whatever you want, but I want your success right after I eat,
Sure. Sure.
right? But SARTA is very much a place that is about, well, we're just supporting everybody. That's the job,
Truth.
right?
Yeah,
In a
absolutely.
very different way than any other theater company can operate to sustain itself. If you're giving to everyone and keeping nothing, then you're not going to survive very long either.
True.
So,
True. Which is
as a theater
why
company,
we put these on when Christopher came to us. We really embraced, okay, this could be a win-win for everybody.
yeah,
More actors get to do some of the shows that they've always wanted to do.
right,
More of our, and the idea was to involve our community theater partners also and do them in different places so we could get the theater audiences to come to different theaters. Sometimes you don't even know, oh, I didn't know there was a theater over there.
Right.
I didn't know they had a theater back there. When did all of this happen? When it's been there for a while, we're just not aware. And
Right.
I still talk to people who just aren't aware of, where it's
Yeah.
going on, that is even happening. So that's been the other beauty of it. We've partnered with Big Idea Theater. We've partnered with the Uli Theater. We did one of them over at R25. So, and we're looking to do in a few more different places again this year.
Yeah.
So, sharing that not only new actors, but new venues with our community is an important part of this too. So, in case you're just joining us, we're talking about a program that SARTA does with its person who had the inception for it, Chris Smith. It's called Tonight Starring. Yeah, that guy again. And his
Huh.
writing partner Rando. And the Tonight Starrings have been wonderful. When you were sitting here as we're going through the titles, it's like, yeah, we've done a few of these now, and they've been really, really successful. Yes, we do them as fundraisers. Yes, it's almost Big Day of Giving, so I'm going to hit you up for money in a little bit again
Mm-hmm.
too. But we're bringing to you why SARTA's value added, why community theater is value added,
Mm-hmm.
and why you need to support it, because it's important to keep this happening and keep all this wonderful talent moving within our communities. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, what's coming up for tonight's starring? What's on the?
I'm doing the fun thing, and this is where anybody can still do this. Like the process is, I've always wanted to do this show. Step one, having the show in your head. Step two, sending me or SARTA a message, email, whatever, saying, I want to do this show. Like the thought that you have in step one, step two. You send it, and then we make the show happen.
And by make the show happen, what do
Yeah.
you? Yeah.
Well, I wanted to prove how easy it was for someone to. It's
And
like
it
make
really
that streamline.
it truly isn't that hard. We
No, no, no.
If you come to us with the idea, we're going to help you, number one, get the rights for the show.
Right,
Number two, where do we want to put this on? How big a house
right,
can we find that will, ideally, our concept is to have the theater donate the space to us for that
right,
event because, again, it's a fundraiser.
right.
Um,
And it
so
keeps
that,
our tickets cheap so people can actually come.
yeah,
To
we do
right.
a ticket price of $10 for
Yeah,
this, which is,
yeah.
you're not going to go see an evening of theater for $10. It's just not going to happen
No.
unless somebody's running the big special. So, these are all affordable for anyone to be able to go and do this. And then, we don't have to worry about, like we said, a lot of props and stuff.
Yeah,
And we just put on the show.
yeah,
It's one night
uh,
only, tonight
yeah.
only. So, yeah.
And the other part that like I do as the producer of it, so you give us the show, Sarda gets the rights, we look for a space, and we also attempt to look for a space that is doing a show current so that we can promote that space. A part of our curtain speech is what's happening, what's coming up, what are we in, what do we need to know about happening within there, and of course the last, hey, come see the show that's happening here because they gave us the thing. Our job is to try and sell tickets for them.
Hmm.
You've
Hmm.
already figured out how to park. So all you have to do is come again next weekend.
Right. One of the nice things that has happened at all of the shows also is, I know you always make it a point to reach out to everyone who comes to say, what are you doing? What show
Yeah,
are you in? Are you at another theater? Tell us about what's happening. The
right.
networking is part
Mhm.
of what's happening here too. And I got to tell you, there's been a couple of these that I found out about other shows that I have then turned around and gone to because I didn't
Right,
know they were doing that over there. Oh, let me go see that show.
right.
Um,
Because they showed up in force to support one person,
right.
and you're like, what? I don't know how to not go support you too. I mean, at the base of just like you came out to support these people, and there's something about supporting people. I think this is partially related, that when you see support come in, there's an immediate impulse to give support out,
True. True.
right? Like if people don't show up, you don't, that you might not go, well, I don't have to because I don't feel very supported by this group. It factors in. Psychologically, your brain just goes, well, they haven't shown up for a couple, so maybe I don't have to go see
Yeah.
their show if I
It,
don't feel like
it's
it,
like your
right?
parents not coming to see your concert when you were a kid in school,
Right. But
right?
if everybody shows up every time, you kind of have, you're like, I kind of want to stay home and relax and hang out with my dog, maybe work on my whatever. I gotta go.
Right. I got to
I
go see the
gotta
show.
go see these people who came and showed up for me.
Right. Right.
It's really, really, buddy. We're gonna start. Yeah, the sighing has begun.
Oh,
Um,
that is Rando's commentary. He's not tired of hearing us talk about this. He's just,
oh, he is.
at
He wants to go do things. There is there's a part of this that is very much the once again it's the goal of the community effort of one of the reasons we do it on Sunday evenings
right.
is so we are not competing with your current show. We don't want to take ticket sales away from you. We want to provide them and give you a place to get 1 to 10 more patrons on top of getting another show.
Right. Right. Right.
No, like it's a whole the whole evening as we evolved it has become really about I want to have actors have a better to know more people, to have a comfortability in certain spaces, to go audition
Mm-hmm.
because they have been there now or they've met that person, to create connectivity so that directors and other people running auditions can go, I saw you in that thing, come do it with minimal effort. Because we do 4 rehearsals or so. Um, as well, we want to be able to say, you've been to this theater, they're doing a show, come next weekend. And you get to see the theaters that are supportive and those, and that adds something to it. And then there's the talking to the audience and finding out what they're doing.
Right.
Like if, like because if we don't know that something's happening because it's just outside of our social media group or outside of our in-person non-media group, we don't know, right? Like, oh right, that was happening, I saw something about that 2 months ago, but
Yeah. And then promptly forgot. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It falls off the radar. Yeah. It's tricky when you have situations going on like that, and you're just like, there's so much, so I'm overwhelmed, so I'm not going to check back in at all. And we
yeah,
don't want people to stay checked out. That's one of the reasons we allow one of the pivots that SARTA did was to put in the community calendar feature on our
mhm,
website. If you're a theater, you guys are doing something, you can go to the website and just put your information in. You don't have to be so formal as to send it to us and all this kind of stuff. I mean, we still get information that way because, we'll take it however we get it. We get people just posting on our Facebook page what's
right.
coming up, and I always cruise it to make sure, oh, you didn't send that email, but let me go grab that information and then go check out your theater's website to see if there's more detail so that we can keep telling people. So, yeah, we stalk you a little bit, we'll chase you down and get your
That,
information and put it on
that just
there.
seems reasonable.
Exactly. So,
It's not stalking if it's your job. If you're a private detective being paid to follow this person around, it's not stalking.
right. And one of our jobs is
Stalking's a hobby. It's not a profession.
we won't question the hobby. But yeah, sometimes it feels a little bit like that because you'll see it go. I'll see it go by on social media. I'll go, I didn't see that in the emails. Let me go find out what that is and pull it back in again. So we have, and there's theater companies that I know of that I just know to go out and find their stuff because it's like, oh, I heard they're doing this. Let me go
Right.
grab that information.
Yank
There's
it, shove it up there. Yeah.
Yeah, and get it on there so we can talk about it. I had a very deep theater weekend last weekend. I went to see 2 shows. I went to see the opening night of The Odd Couple. They're doing
Mm-hmm.
an all-female version. If you have a
Mm-hmm.
chance to get down here, check it out. And
Thought Saturday. Yeah.
yeah, and then I went to see Leaving Iowa over at the Chautauqua Theater.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing show.
Good.
Amazing show. So good. So Highly recommend. Can recommend. So speaking of amazing shows, I hear you have a little something coming up sometime soon.
Well, it's
You want
little something for everyone else. It's a big something for me.
right?
It's a matter of perspective. Um, yeah, I wrote. I have been writing, I guess, because writing is an activity, and I did some of it on this show this morning, um, to cut for a little bit of time and flow. I wrote a one-person show that I'm uh, acting, lecturing in, sermonizing. We've decided is the right phrase.
It's a massive monologue.
A ridiculously massive monologue, a little
Okay.
bit over an hour. Um, called Mine for the Tribe. Atom Adafia is directing, putting me through my paces. I get to see her in a couple of hours and do more pacing. My coach is like, "No, that's not good enough. Get back." Okay. Um, yeah, I was um, absolutely. I think what really came up this show came about was a going through a bit of trauma, but also I've been a bookworm for most of my life and really curious about stuff, and then found a whole bunch of I found answers that I wish somebody had given me, specifically about being an artist or what our job is, how our brains work, how to approach the world, um, how to approach self, all those things that I realized it's that strange thing about like being a I equate it to being a kid who thinks everybody thinks like them and then realizing they don't,
Mm.
right?
Mm. Mm.
You're under the perception that like when kids are like, you're gonna love this.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
You don't understand that I don't love that. You don't get that other people like different things. Um, and that's somewhat like the perception that I came across of, oh, right, I found this and nobody else knows this because they're not bookworm artists or they're not interested in um, finding this information on their own. So I found things like I think one of the big ones for me is the idea of the shaman,
Mm.
um, and what the shaman's job was and how we're we in the arts are very akin to the shaman of old because one in about 100 people in these small tribes that we all came from for hundreds of thousands of years of needing had the qualities of the artist to bring stories and perform them for their tribe to answer questions about life.
Right.
And I just found that fascinating. I went, oh my God, there's heritage to what I do, like brain chemistry heritage. Like that's what I feel my job is. That's what I think most artists' job is to view the world and see a problem, come back and try and address it in a way that allows the person to make the choice on their own, as opposed to, in psychology, do this,
Mm.
or science, like this is just the way it is. It's black and white. There is no gray. It works or it doesn't with the
Mm-hmm.
engineering mind. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so yeah, I loved the idea of trying to be of use to artists based upon things that I've gone through and found in this weird journey. That was a lot of word salad I just did.
To give people an idea of
Mhm.
that I think that spoke to the process. So the product that you have come
Mhm.
up with is your basically one man show
Yeah.
called Mind the Tribe. What was cathartic for you in finally getting this production, giving it birth, if you will?
Oh, I am currently in the screaming contraction phase.
Oh,
So
oh, you're still in delivery. Okay. All right. Got it.
I occasionally need someone to hold my hand and remind me to breathe.
Ah,
Um,
got it. Got it.
and then I just scream at whomever's next to me, "You bastard! You did this to me."
I
We're
appreciate the
naming it after my father.
I appreciate the analogy because yeah. Well, and people don't really fully appreciate that there's a process to
Oh yeah.
art. There's an absolute process to art. And the first iteration is never the final, typically.
No, yeah, and this is something that I go into with writers. I'm a member of a couple of writers groups, a screenwriting group and a playwriting group, and we have to start defining um, the process for ourselves so we feel better about the mistakes we've made during it.
Mm,
Like this is an exploration draft, where you're like, I want to throw the entirety of the kitchen sink, everything I think I know now, at the page.
mhm. Mhm.
And then you hit print or send it to yourself in a PDF and open it and look at it and go, holy crap, this is a mess, but I do like that idea, like that idea, like that idea. These two things don't connect yet. And it's a constant exploration of the idea at the core of what you're doing and altering the core idea sometimes as well. So it's just like acting is you have a script, you start thinking about it, and you make mistakes. Things, or they don't just quite feel. You tried it and it didn't quite feel right, or the director goes, "No," or another actor. The next line that the next actor gives you is something that doesn't gel with the rhythm you just set up.
Mhm.
Somebody's got to change if you're going to make the scene work. So just like that with writing, you can get better at it as you go, but we're all just writing what we know at any time we start writing.
True.
And
True.
and some of the big things that I've learned, when you say something enough, when you write it clearly enough multiple times and say it in rehearsal in front of numerous people and do it in workshops in front of numerous people, you start to believe it more.
Mm.
It starts to become a part of you, and it's no longer I think the initial writing of this was a lot of discovery of wound as well as my real thoughts about things. And there's a process by which you're eventually just defining scar tissue because it's healed somehow through it, as well as, no, I don't just believe this, it's part of me. It's not an aspiration anymore.
Mhm.
It's a habit or it's part of me. It's a true it's the path I'm walking, not the path I'd like to walk, if that
Sure.
makes any sense.
Well, it does in a way, and I'm thinking about the process of putting, especially if it's something personal,
Yeah,
like a story that you're relating that really comes from you. Which is why I use the word cathartic on some of it, but healing is part of that process
yeah,
because it's making you go back and maybe look at some things that
yeah.
weren't necessarily comfortable to deal with
Mm,
in the first place and really unpacking them. And I wonder,
mhm.
in that process, did you rethink what the events were? Did you discover,
Yeah.
well, maybe that was me thinking about it differently at that time? Or was it, I don't want to think to say as bad as you thought it would have been, but,
Yeah,
perspective. Distance gives us perspective on things.
right. As opposed to what's the new fun psychological thing that the one thing we should learn as opposed to projecting is perspective,
Mm,
right?
mm,
Like I think this is what's happening in this scenario versus I wonder I'd like to know why this is going on, and I'm not sure yet. Like actively engaging in conversation or curiosity about why there's a disconnect, as opposed to, oh, you're just a jackass, you know? Right?
we're bottom line people. We like to go right to that bottom line. It's like,
Right.
nah,
It's
you're a
easier
jerk.
that way.
Yeah. Well, because you
No,
don't have to unpack anything.
yeah. No, yeah, yeah, you don't have to grow. That's wrong, so I'm fine.
Yeah.
As opposed to that requires me to amend my thinking on the whole thing. But yeah, like there are multiple elements that if you're trying to be honest, I think there's a difference between honesty and reality. There's subjectivity, objectivity. Um, where I knew what I really didn't want was to paint myself as Jesus in a room full of people that made mistakes around me,
Mm.
because that's not growth, right? That's that exactly that thing. Everyone else is wrong. I'm right. A lot of this I realized was also some some of the things that had happened around me or near me. Um, I allowed to happen for however long they had. I had done numerous things that I wasn't uh, proud of or made me realize that I needed to change throughout my life and mostly in doing this. But it's you can have the thought as a person that you've got to change,
Hmm.
um, or that even that just isn't working anymore. This part isn't working.
Right.
Right? As simple, regardless of how big or small it is. But it's the saying it and then following through constantly. That is the big thing. It's like working out. Like you can go to the gym today, but if you don't go tomorrow, you don't go Thursday, you don't, you know,
Right.
uh,
Right.
you can change your diet for the day. I'm just going to have a salad today. You're doing it. If you're trying for mental health stuff, sure, you listen to the thing, you understand the concept, but are you applying it?
Right.
And doing this over and over and over and over and over and memorizing and rewriting and clarifying and having to share it with people and getting their thoughts, you really start living it.
Did you find that process raw? Like you
At,
laid bare yourself every time you did that in front of someone.
yeah, it's funny because at first I felt very. At first, I was a little scared of sharing it, and I'm still a little, and I think that's a good thing,
Sure.
for performance. um, but also, I like eventually, it's like other forms of acting where I've had to do dramatic roles before and access things that feel like another characters at times.
Mm.
Now, I'm aware, like, cognitively, I'm aware, but I'm not in that space anymore. I have access to it, as I think most artists do. Um, like you can go back to that point of whatever pain, joy, terror, elation, whatever, but you can't. But if you're doing it right, you're attempting to not harm yourself, uh, emotionally, psychologically, so that you can get through it and do it in the right way. So really, it's a very difficult dance to do. But your point there, like it feels separate a lot of the time. Like I have to access it because I'm a year plus out from the various events that uh, made me go, I have to do something both for myself, and then realizing that, as I put later in the show, like her pain, mine, better, worse, same, they all became unacceptable to me.
Mm. Mm.
Like I can't sit idly by and watch other people suffer.
Mm.
I at least have to, and art
Understood.
does a really good job of handing something over on on a platter. Like you have to do a little bit of work to understand the point, and then um, you can apply it to your life possibly.
Got it.
Like most art is an offering of change in some way.
Oh, very true. Very, very
Yeah.
true. Um, and then to that, I was going to ask you. So you've put together this is a very personal piece.
Mhm.
It's had its iterative part for you. It's had its cathartic part for you. What would you like the audience to take away from this?
Um, well, I think because I also like part of this is I had to break down the definition of art for myself,
Mm,
right? And I dislike one person shows that are all about therapizing the artist on stage. I'm not a big fan of just watching somebody go through their own self-prescribed unscientific therapy. I shared it. I'm healed, right? No. Yeah. It's a step. Identifying is
sure.
great. It's a step, but it's not the end.
Well, and sometimes those can feel a little self-serving.
Yeah.
It's
No.
like, look at
That's
me
what.
and I did this journey and look how well I turned out.
Right. How I point to it at a certain point. Like it's my sort of caveat at the outset is I don't want you to think I'm resilient. I don't
Mm,
want you to think I'm brilliant. I don't want these things. I want to change perspective on something, but often enough, what stories can do is make you understand why it's important because you feel it, as opposed to just being given information. Like you could read a psychology book, and these are the things that you should do, but the reason why is a story,
right, right,
especially for individuals.
right.
Like I had to go through this to know that I needed to do this, and now I see this as important. And I hope because in the arts we are a very specific sort of brain structure, brain chemistry group, and I don't. I think it's egg over chicken in this one, where we come with these parts in our happy meal up here. Um, this is just, and wherever we are, this much more imagination, this much more empathy, this much more emotion, and all of a sudden we're different kids than everybody else, and the only thing that feels right is art.
Mm.
And if you're more of a visual person, maybe you're in photography or painting, architecture, whatever. If you're a wordy son of a bitch, you become a writer. If you're musically inclined, a musician. But I think it's all sort of that same thing: is that we experience the world in a slightly different way that can still communicate to the average person who doesn't have our brain chemistry, but we come with our own problems. And to me, it was really apparent because we constantly see people at the top of their game um, committing suicide
Yeah.
by whatever means, be it that quick decision or self torture, basically with an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's part of who we are as artists.
Wow. Uh,
Because yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
You just so many thoughts just fired in my head when you said that because well over the years I've lost people
yeah,
and you're all you can think is but you were so good.
yeah,
What happened? Which we will never know. And that was their own battle to fight, and they chose to end it how they chose to end it. But yeah, that's a very real that whole. It is not a trope to be a
yeah.
tortured artist in a lot of
It's
ways.
statistically obvious.
Yeah.
You
Um,
know,
that is one of the reasons I am always very adamant that we need to help so many of our younger people
mhm.
because youth the middle school high school years
Yeah,
so hard
yeah,
to say who you are and be who you are and authentically because I mean we've all grown up different time periods clearly but we've grown up in a society that doesn't allow much for that kind of flexing that humans need to do to
right.
find who
But
they are and
yeah,
where they fit.
no, like culturally and socially, evolutionary psychology points to And this was a part of the show that I cut, so I'm always happy to talk about things that I got to cut. We're most of us are social adherents, and one of the greatest things that makes humanity survive for as long as it have, as weak as we are physically, is our social bonding. And um, but you need to have something, and this is almost the point of the Matrix. I find it very
Mm,
funny that this is the point of the Matrix. You need to have something that pushes things forward. And that is generally the artist who says, this just doesn't feel right. But that feeling can only come from somebody who doesn't feel entirely a part of the culture. So the reason that I think artists really have the same thing is that it's that same story. I was going to this, all of these people socially just went whoop, we're gonna wear the same thing, we're gonna talk the same thing, watch the same shows, do the same thing for the most part, regardless of being in small little groups.
right.
There is always a prevailing culture, and the artist, almost by nature, is opposing it, or at least investigating it for things that don't feel right.
Yeah, my thought was shedding light on
Yeah,
aspects of it because
yeah,
I mean that's what stand-up comedians do in a lot of cases.
right,
It's like this is great, but look at ourselves and many of the great plays that we like so much. I remember a few weeks ago when at his passing, I did a special commentary on the Tuesday show on Christopher Durang.
right.
He was a playwright that sort of grabbed that
Yeah, like this is
absurdity.
wrong.
You know, that
Yeah,
this is wrong right here. Do you
which makes it
see?
kind of funny and
And
awful,
yeah,
but it's wrong in a funny way.
you
Yeah,
know, I often look is it does it say something about me that one of my favorite shows by him is Baby with the Bathwater? It's like
mhm,
that was not a healthy thing, but I got it. And I
yeah.
saw yes, are you looking at the some of the absurdities that we
Well, and like the beautiful part about Durang, and one of the things that artists can do in satire is, okay, this is the this is how you perceive doing this thing, child rearing. You see child rearing as being, let them do whatever they want. Don't invade their privacy. Um, don't ask too many questions. Like let them decide where they want to go and do. And this is what you get.
mm-hmm,
I'm an artist. I get to, as opposed to having to do um, a a scientific experiment in psychology or sociology where you get like hundreds of people together and you raise children over 20, 30 years and see where they go. An artist gets to go, this is probably what it would be, and I can write this in a week,
right.
you know, and I can share it. Like, and it's and art. One of the things I really um, don't like about current society is that we can say, "Are you sure about?" I think art does a good job of saying, "Are you sure?" And Durang definitely was, "Are you sure this is the right thing to do?" Um, to the audience, and not it's not a listen, you sons of blah 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 blah. You have to. It's generally, are you sure? You can
Right.
walk out of the theater if you don't like this. If this confronts you, you can go.
Yeah,
You don't have to buy that painting. You can. There's so many other things on Netflix you can watch right now
true.
make you feel better about your worldview. But art really does attempt occasionally just to get. Are you sure about that? You sure this is the best plan, kids? We rarely sermonize.
Yeah, true. Ooh, I have to have a shout out. Hi, Opera Smurfette. Thank you. Opera Smurfette is saying hi to you and I both, and
Who is
hopes
this
they're having
person?
a great morning. Well, see on Twitch, you never know.
We don't know.
I know who that is. And they're fine. They're a wonderful, wonderful follower of Sarta, and but they're saying
They're a
hi to both of us
wonderful,
this morning.
wonderful, fine follower,
Yep, yep, yep.
and tiny and blue.
And
Got
tiny and blue, and
it.
likes opera apparently. But thank you so much, Opera Smurfette, for the
Okay.
shout out this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that lets me know that people are here with us too.
Yay!
Yay! Listening to what's going on. Yeah,
Rando is still, he's
Rando is
flopped
still
over
in
on his
his
side.
usual position there, keeping an eye on all of us, making sure we're being legit. It's like,
Yeah.
gotta
He,
love
he-
it. Again, next life coming back as a house pet. Doggone it.
no, I would come back as Rando despite his tendency to get himself in pain once a year.
Yeah, right. Right.
Well, I'm gonna do what I want, do what I want, do what I want. Ow.
Yeah. Well, humans
Dad!
humans do that too. It's like we do that to
I
ourselves too.
try to do it less and
Yeah.
less.
Um,
Uh,
so we left out a few key pieces here.
oh,
Where's your show playing? When is
right.
it opening? You know.
Right, 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 right,
Okay.
right.
All right. Here we go.
Yeah, if you the best way to keep tabs on this is I do have an event page that you can find through my Facebooky stuff. The Uli has stuff there, so it will be at the Uli Theater, Friday, Saturdays at 8, two on Sundays for 2 weeks, starting May 10th, and I believe that means through the 19th. We're potentially, based upon audience demand, doing a third weekend. The second weekend, it is streaming, and all that information is available online um, through the Uli, through Facebook. Yeah, if you find me on Facebook or just Mine for the Tribe event Sacramento, it's somewhere in there. Uli Theater, all these things will find it. Possibly on the SARTA page soon enough. Yeah, I'm going to put it at an hour 20 at the moment because we're
Okay.
still figuring out sound cues and how long the rewritten script this morning is going to be.
You
Um,
eventually have to stop rewriting it so you can just have a done
oh, I
copy.
tried, damn it. I tried. And then we had a rehearsal that we were like, this is, we have to cut a few minutes. Okay.
Okay.
You told people it's this long, and all right, just get out my axe and go kill some of my babies in here. Um, yeah, but yeah, we're hoping, and the goal of this one, I've learned as an artist, the smartest thing to do is have one goal. You can have all these other goals around it, but what is the primary?
Right.
Make sure it works. And I intend to, I've already started applying, but go to other fringe festivals, one person show thingies,
Right.
because despite how terrifying it is, I think it's another one of those things. I've done a lot of shows that I believe in. I've worked on shows I've liked a lot, but didn't. I don't think I've had the. I really believe in what I'm trying to do to the extent that I can't let it just have 2, 3 weekends in Sacramento and die.
Got it. Got it.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's a massive feeling. Which is new because most of the shows we do are like, that was fun.
Yeah. And now on to the next show. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is, I tell young writers that you have to be, don't be precious about the project, be precious about the path. You're going to run into people that are like, this isn't great and I don't like it, and you're going to cry. Or like, okay, or you can mature as a writer and ask the question, how didn't this work? Is it just because you're not a fan of this genre?
Right. Right.
Like the actor playing this character reminds you of your abusive father? Like, what was it like you, or was it like, no, this 10 minutes right after this person did this was really boring and I'd heard that before. All right, that I can learn from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? But this feels like the path, personally and professionally for me, as the thing like, I it's such a strange realization to, like, I have spent years figuring something out that I see a lot of other people not having done so.
Right.
Like, I see, and I think as artists, we see a lot of pain in the world in a way due to our empathy that other people may not have, which is a great thing for us. But we also, um, occasionally you realize nobody's addressing this pain in the way that might be of use.
Interesting. Yeah. And that is where theater comes in for a lot of us also. I've gone to things that have, clearly the person who wrote it didn't know it was going to touch me
Right.
in this way because they were feeling something. And I think that's one of the beautiful pieces, particularly about, the more serious pieces and even some of the comedies. I mean,
Right.
Durang does it too.
Yeah.
Um, is that it can touch areas because some of these psychological experiences are common to the human existence.
Right.
We all go through them. We have different comfort levels about talking about them,
Right.
sometimes not at all,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
which is why I applaud you because you're bold enough to just, here's me on the stage. Bam.
Right. Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, here's my flaws. Here's my stuff.
Right. I do not get naked in this show,
Thank you for that.
physically.
Okay, thank you for that too.
The pants stay
Yeah,
on the
it's like
whole
let's
time.
keep our pants on. I've been to a show where you've had your pants off already, so yeah. Okay.
Well, again,
Anyway,
I had Boxer briefs. They were
look,
very tasteful.
Rando is distressed by that. We
Yeah,
woke
welcome
him.
back, bud.
He's like, "Who's taking off pants?" Wait.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, like, is it bedtime?
Yeah.
Oh, bedtime.
Yeah.
Bedtime's
Right.
great.
We're
I can
getting
sleep
pajamas
there
on.
too.
Yeah.
No, like I really part of this journey has been the understanding that because when I've done it for workshops, especially for younger actors, I was like, they you I know like people that have been on the planet for a while, we've had the conversations about certain parts of us, no matter what
Sure.
who we've had it with, we've seen something. But a couple of the younger artists, like we're going, you're done. Okay, we got to go outside and just. I need an hour of talking about this
Mm.
because I feel this, and it becomes this just waterfall of I need to talk about this thing because they didn't know somebody does, or they didn't know somebody did. And when it comes to like mental health for artists, we tend to hide it, um, displace it, dilute it. Um,
Do
you
you
know,
hide it in the characters? You think?
I think we can't where we have a fault the practical we can do something that I've seen people do, which is how would I put it? Almost emotional tourism, where
Mm.
you're like, I'm going to experience this, but I'm not going to bring it home. I'm not going to figure out why I desperately needed to be this very dramatic character, cry on stage, scream on stage, almost hurt myself on stage. But I'm never going to address the actual part of me. And I think a lot of people, I noticed it when I was younger, specifically, we thought because we were weird and we were first hand dealing with weirdos, it meant we have to experience all the things, we have to drink our asses off, get ourselves involved in weird, terrible, potentially painful situations just to experience them, as opposed to my brain's going to do this anyway, drunk or not.
Mm.
I don't need to abuse substances to get there. I don't need to abuse my body to get these things. I can do this in an exceptionally healthy way.
Do you
Um,
think that our new, well, I don't know if it's, well, yeah, it is new because, I've got a few more years on me than you do. And we didn't have these conversations about mental health
yeah,
in our teens and 20s and 30s.
no,
Now people are talking openly about it
yeah,
and really sharing, you know what? This stuff going on in here is a hot mess.
yeah,
Some days are better, some days are worse. How are
yep,
you doing? You know?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
It's such a strange thing, and I will because one of the other goals that I have in life and this has been refined through the process of writing this and like going, what do I actually care about? Mental health for artists and building better men. Men are
Mm.
awful at this in a different way. I think women, if and please correct me if this doesn't seem right, are better at communicating things, although they might have their own struggles in actually applying things. But on an emotional level, are given a different pass by culture and society and upbringing, whatever, to discuss emotion in a way that I've witnessed men just don't,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially with
Yeah.
other men.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. This is a conversation that I was having just about a week and a half ago, how men don't have those conversations. A friend of mine shared that her husband's best friend
Mhm.
recently was involved in a very tragic situation and ended up taking his own life.
Yeah.
But they had visited each other just weeks before that. And when she asked her husband, well, did he talk about? He was like, no, we didn't talk about any of that.
Nope.
And you make a good observation, and this has been one that I've noted. Women are women have, what is it called, rapport talk. How are you? How's it going? This is what
Right.
I'm feeling. All of these things. Men have report talk. This is what I did.
Right.
This is my accomplishment. But
Right.
that we're not socialized
Yeah.
to move past that with each other.
Right.
We're not social. For a man having that rapport talk, what's the matter with you? You're weak, you're this, you're that. And then all
Right.
of these labels, and you don't want to be labeled because of that conformity you were talking about earlier, and how
Yeah.
you have to fit in this societal view. And if you don't fit in that societal view, then something's wrong with you.
Right. No,
So
100%.
from
And
the
that this is
time
a
they're
lot of,
little and you tell them big boys don't cry, you know,
I
take
think that was part of the problem, growing up as an artist in a very blue collar area. It felt really interesting when I got to college, and you start realizing these things later. Like, I understand a lot of, I empathize a great deal with the gay community in coming out. Like, those stories always made sense to me. It was like I had to tell people who did not accept what I was, and it's a different thing, and I would guarantee almost across the board, more traumatizing and difficult for that community. But I
sure,
definitely saw the spark. Like, you're saying something that I've felt about just being who I am,
right, right,
and um, I also realized that one of the things that we can do as artists on that mental health front is, if we tend to guide culture. I mean, the best example I've got are the last 60 years of film, where we've gone from black people play these roles, women are like this,
mm-hmm,
Asian people are like this,
right,
gay people are like this, to a more universal look and pushing for stories that cover all of the things. We as artists can also be the front line of showing how useful it is to break some of these social norms, some of these anxious things about talking towards mental health. And I find when you put it out there as, "Hey, not doing great, and I just does your brain work like this?"
yeah, yeah, yeah,
um, is difficult, and it's helpful because another part of my realization was that artists, you can only lead people who want to follow, so you have to
truth,
seem like you're worth following. You have to make yourself worth being listened to and followed. And um, if you can't, and it's not an easy journey,
mm,
but like, okay, what would I want to, if I wanted to follow somebody, what would uh, where would I be aiming at? How would I be walking that path? What sort of philosophy would I have? What sort of life would I be leading so that I'm worth listening to?
fascinating, and just that what you just shared is a lot of self-reflection too, because I don't think people who end up with followings like that have put that kind of depth of thought into it, into the process, that what makes me worthy to be in
Right.
this position where someone would look at me and say, ooh, that's someone that I can get behind. That's someone, you've got your positive examples in some of our,
Right.
world prophets and things like that. And you've got some of our not so positive
Right.
examples in your
Well, I
Jim
can get
Joneses
people will
and
give me stuff if I do this.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
And
motivations behind it are can be very sinister, extremely
right.
sinister.
And even just so it really became this, okay, I want to, I don't like reacting to people in this fashion.
Mm,
I don't want to be doing this behavior. Like complaining is an easy one to, I don't want to complain.
mm,
I want to discover how I actually feel about something, and then I don't want to complain anymore. No, I don't really want to dive into that because it puts you in that mindset. I'd rather be working. I'd rather be enjoying something than thinking about something that has happened that it no longer should have an effect. The only person that's being affected by my complaining, A, is anybody who's around me while I'm complaining, and it's not a positive effect.
right.
But also myself. I'm putting myself back in that mindset,
True.
and it's difficult to break stuff like that. But that was part of this whole mental health journey of like I need to get to a place where I've thought where my brain starts identifying like, you don't have to say that or even think that anymore.
True.
You can be done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There can be a healthy, and I think the cathartic process of the journey. I mean, sometimes we're just not done. Things
Oh
can
no.
happen to us and while you think you've yes, you've kind of handled it, but there will be moments in your life where something will happen, it'll come to the fore again and you go, "Oh yeah, that."
Yeah.
Then what you do with that is the important piece. Is like, so
Right.
am I gonna bring this back up here and let it be, all in front of my face again? Or am I going to go, yeah, but you handled that. It's cool, you know?
Yeah, I'm fine. I want to do these things. Thank you for and I realize that our brain is very much about our survival, so it's going to bring up things
Mm,
that it wants us to pay attention to so we don't go through that pain again.
right,
Right? It's going to try and save us. That's all trauma is part of our brain trying to save us from things that it think might be that
right,
pain again.
right.
Um, so we hopefully getting to a point, especially with our explosive minds in the arts, of being able to look at those things. Okay, no, thank you, survival brain,
Hmm.
but I can go through there because that thing will probably not happen.
So when you get to the end of Mind the Tribe, do you share that catharsis, that aha moment, that new understanding?
I think so. The hardest part about it is that we've now talked for just about as long as the show is, and I've not done a single character. Um, defining what the things are or told the stories. Um, I try. I think the greatest thing that we can do for the mental health journey, and I'm not sure I really addressed this directly, but I think it's in there somehow. I hope it's in there somehow. Is some of us don't change until we've hit our version of rock bottom.
Mm, mm,
And when we're like, I don't know if I can survive doing anything like that again or being through anything like that again, usually
mm-hmm,
a combo.
mm-hmm,
Um, and hoping that the next generation and even the current generation or the generations ahead of me can find a way to not have to get there. I think it's the largest um, problem we have as human beings in general is that we're reactive versus proactive,
yeah, yeah.
right? So, like, if we can, and thank God we've got people working in mental health now and dealing with, I have a playwriting group that is mostly, I call them a pronoun kids. They're various, for various people's he, she's, and they's of change and boldly going in the directions that they need to go. exploring the things they need to explore, but they're all under 30.
Mm,
Some very, 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 very close to 20. Um, and they speak in mental health terms that I'm so happy exist.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, that they didn't go find. It was handed to them and given to them. And I'm hoping that they don't have to go through what not just me, but so many people. And one of the people I talk about a great deal in the show went through in order to find change in self. Like if we
Right.
could do small moves, then we don't have to get there.
Hmm.
But we're not very good at that as people.
Yeah, well, right.
we
And
don't
and
we don't tune up the car, we take it to the mechanic after it's shut down.
right. So much of that that I see is based in this whole attitude of never wanting to ask for help.
Yeah,
And that is part of the social phenomenon
yeah,
that I see shifting. People
yeah,
are willing to ask for help and say this is my vulnerability. This is my, in a lot of cases, and I working in my other headspace, dealing with folks with different abilities and disabilities and things like
right,
that. Let's talk about that. Let's not hide it.
right,
Let's see how we can help each person develop to
right,
their fullest potential.
right. And be more
Yeah,
productive once we've got the skills and the habits as opposed to muscling through it all the time.
right. Just toughen up. Don't say anything. And then those are the one. That's when you end up finding out your friend went and put a gun in their mouth or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Not to be trigger warnings for anybody who has
yeah,
dealt with that,
yeah.
but the
We've
reality is
all done it.
people want
Yeah,
to unalive themselves,
yeah.
and it's happening to so many much younger people,
Right.
which so
I
concerning.
really do hope like our social way of doing it is like, hey, you just don't want to bother people, but I think it's a misunderstanding of a capitalist system or what it can be of productivity.
Mm,
You have to be productive, and there's the American dream. You can be anything you want to be, which creates an anxiety when you don't become what you dreamed about.
right,
Right?
right.
And you don't want to show weakness, which is I have flaws. I have, when I'm the funniest thing I'm finding is that I feel stronger, and I kind of hate the word confidence because it doesn't feel Buddhist enough, not being a Buddhist, but it doesn't feel balanced enough. But I feel a lot of security in who I am now that I don't see in a lot of the people that maybe 10 years ago I would have seen as strong.
Mm,
Like I'm the flappability, like I see strength, and I've seen that I've realized this is one of my definitions that's very specific about masculine strength is the ability to walk into a situation and adapt for it, help in that situation. That feels like strength to me.
mm,
Um, and not just, the pipe's busted. Can you fix the pipe? Can you fix a car? Can you beat up that guy that's gonna, that's hurting people? Like that is one version of fixing a problem as a man, right? And then a traditional problem being a man, letting other people explode emotionally and being the strong center. That's an old version of being a man. And there are benefits to each of those things.
mm-hmm.
But being able to put on a dress so that your daughter will go on stage and dance in their recital when they're 5, that's strength
Yeah,
because the reason you're not doing it is fear
right,
of being seen as feminine,
right.
right? Speaking about the difficulty so that you can get back to productivity and positivity
Mm-hmm.
of losing someone,
Right.
of just being emotionally there for a partner, a child, a parent, a friend.
Yeah, yeah.
Strength, that to me is strong because it's what the situation calls for. And if we have the language ability and we have the heart ability and the strength to actually be there to do that task, that's being asked of us, then it's strong. If we're standing there going, well, I don't do that because I'm a man,
Yeah.
you're not, that's, you've failed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
There's that rigidity will never allow you to move into other spaces where you might discover all sorts of wonderful. And I think in a lot of ways that's what theater can do,
right.
and is part of why some people are drawn to theater, and it becomes that place where, you know what, I might not be able to be me here, but you know, right here,
Yeah,
this is where I am, this is where I live, this is where I can be. And then you can steel yourself, or sort of just get ready yourself to walk back out into the rest of the world that's going to
right.
expect these binary spaces of you. But you know, that's a movement I think we've seen. You mentioned it in media. I think we've seen it in theater also as
Well,
part
oh,
of
absolutely.
media, that movement toward it, you know, mentioning earlier the increase in women's roles. You know, seeing things like 12 angry men be 12 angry women,
Right,
you know, and I recently saw one pivot to even 12 angry jurors.
right.
Just let's
That they
not
would just
go
be,
there. How about we not
right,
genderize it at all?
right. Because that's, we're not supposed to.
Right?
We're voters, we're not votresses and votants. You know, but also in that, there's the other part of theater which I find really interesting is that we can do, uh, there's a universal approach that is inclusive that we have to start working towards as well, where um, it's the acceptance of uh, people of different races can be closer to people of different races than they are to their own group. You know, people of different genders. I can learn if we're incapable of learning from everyone around us, then we're not growing as great as we can.
True.
And one of the difficulties being a straight white dude in theater has been um, the lack of acceptance. Like I have actively been told from time to time, we want to hear less from you as a member of a group.
Mm.
Um, it is our time, and to me, that feel like, well, I'm here, anyways. And I don't necessarily disagree that we need more stories for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
and that certain people have been left out of the conversation for absolutely sure for the majority of Western history.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very much of this flavored history for the
Mm-hmm.
last 500-600 years, um, and it we but if we lose sight of where we want to go, which is equality,
Mm-hmm.
that's it's great to we have to start seeing ourselves as a member of a larger group. Um, and I like to tell stories that I believe are helpful to anybody who's going through this, regardless
Mm-hmm.
of the thisness.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a
Uh,
lot of we call them interest group theater, you know, because you've got
yeah,
BIPOC theater and Chicano theater and Black theater and, you know, Asian theater. And you know, part of me wants to be the Rodney King of it all and go, can it all just be theater? But it can't yet. It can't yet, because
right.
there are still people gatekeeping who gets to
Absolutely.
do what, and how that is, as you mentioned earlier, how that should look. You know,
Right.
your Hedda Gabler was
Oh
a
yeah.
perfect
Yeah, yeah.
example of that one.
Well, this is
Um,
what's in my brain about this thing.
right.
Oh, right. Black people exist.
No, yeah. eh,
Right? It's like, yeah.
Yeah. And we can take the lead also. You know,
Yeah.
there are other folks, you know, people with disabilities can act,
Yeah.
you know, hello, they can
Yeah.
do that. So are they giving them the opportunities, the you know, are parts even
Right.
being written? Is it even being conceived that they could be a part of this?
Right.
So,
And to me, it's the same as I'm a big fan of this might be minimizing, but at the same time, I think it's how my brain processes it. So we'll see. Um, I really enjoy um, ridiculous dark humor comedies. So if I put on, like, I'm watching through Always Sunny again right now.
Mm,
And I love that show. I love a lot of those shows in that same vein. Um, and then I want to watch something that challenges me.
mm,
I don't get theater, just like art can be. I love that picture of a puppy, and I love that other painting this picture of war torn whatever affects me. They're both photography,
mm.
you know? Um, So if we're saying on one hand, we can have both. Say like tonight, I feel like going to Celebration Arts, and I want to learn something as a white liberal. I also kind of hate the term ally. I'm just a person. It feels like I have a job to do if somebody calls me that. We're going to
Well,
war.
well, you
I'm
kind
kind
of
of
do.
like,
You
yeah.
kind of do. I'll call you on that one. You kind of
Right?
do have a job to do as an ally, because it's one of those things where we talk about this inclusive property of theater and all these kinds of things. But yes, I, as an African American woman, can go to the Black Theater Company and see things that are going to be relating and things like that. I can go out and talk about these social justice issues. But why is the message always got to come from me?
Right.
Why
No,
can't you share that message too
oh,
with just as much
absolutely.
sincerity and heart? And
Oh
that's
yeah.
where you become an ally. So whether you
Oh
like
yeah.
it or not, I'm sorry, Christopher, you are. You
Oh,
just are.
I just to me, I think it's much. I want to share, like in the current play that I'm hoping to do a reading of in like June, July.
Mm.
I recognized how important a trans guy was in me understanding something personally.
Ooh.
So in creating this play, very much about men, um, I included this character who is still a man, um, but has a different approach, and based upon their experience of the world, shows these other men the folly of their ways.
Wow.
So
Is this
it's
something you're
still,
writing? I'm sorry.
yeah, 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 um, yeah. But I loved the idea of this because this has happened in my life
Mm,
where this person who is not me, who people who look like me actively hate, um, I became a better person. And not because
wow.
of their transness, not but just as much as I have had wonderful conversations and life lessons handed to me by people of various genders, whatever.
Mm,
My approach um, is I believe in a universal approach, and as a white, straight, cisgendered, able-bodied writer or performer, whatever, I see what I want to share with people who look like me
mm,
is how valuable these people are in my life, which came as a startling realization that other people don't have this stuff. Like this perspective doesn't exist
right. Right.
in their
Yeah.
lives
A lot
because
of
they
people don't
refuse to
get
have those
that.
people.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
that became my sort of um, guiding light in
Mm-hmm.
building better men. Is I want to not just talk about men's issues or whatnot, but actually bring to people who look like me and grew up around where I grew up. I'm up here in El Dorado County. It's a very red county, and we don't have a lot of color. There is misogyny here. There
Mm.
is homophobia here. There is xenophobia here, um, for any number of reasons, and that's a 7-hour conversation as to why all that exists. But
Right.
I see it. I see the very simple solution as an artist being having empathy for these people and kind of understanding them and saying your lives could be better if you brought these other perspectives in,
Sure. Sure.
and how much better it would be for them to vote just as much as, let's say, uh, celebration arts might make a black community or the guilty liberal community, um, you know what I'm saying? Like get out and vote and
Yes.
understand something better. So should art that attempts to approach, and not at the exclusion of any other art,
Right.
but art that approaches a community of people like this. Um, uh, Try and get them to not vote the way they have been.
Hmm. Well,
Like put
and
it in activity.
yeah, I think, well, and that's a constant struggle that's gone on for ages. It's like you see me, but you see the surface of me.
Right.
You don't see me, the
Right.
individual that lives inside this body, which
Yeah.
is very much like the individual that's living inside your body.
Whoa!
But you stop at the yes, but you're
But
different
you're that.
sex, different gender, different, different color, different language base. And so I can't see you anymore past
Right.
that.
Yeah.
And as long as we continue this surface exploration, again, this is where theater can dig deeper
Right.
into these things. I've really appreciated Celebration Arts this season for their, season of Black Girl Magic, women playwrights, women directors,
Yeah.
stories about people that you wouldn't normally hear because they're not in theater with the big T. They're
The little T
in
theaters. Yeah.
specific,
Right.
focus group theater. This is Black theater. This is Asian theater. This is
Or we're the
Latinx
theater that,
theater.
right. Or we're really trying to, or we understand we're a liberal organization, and every once in a while we'll throw you a bone.
Right.
Did I say that out loud?
I feel that way every time Black History Month rolls around, but I'm black the other 11 months, but okay. I'll take what I can get. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
No,
But
like
then they follow it up with Women's History Month, so I get to double dip. So,
right.
for 2 months out of the year,
And
I'm
the
valid.
exact, and the thing that's supposed to follow up, Black History Month and Women's History Month is a dude talking on stage for an hour.
That's
My problems matter.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's real. It's very real. Very,
And
very real.
that's I think I think in all these perspectives are very helpful because I ask the question occasionally, when we have equality, what do we do with theater then?
Well, I think the challenge is equity, not equality.
Gotcha. How
Um,
would you define those separately? Because
oh,
I always get a different
equity. Yeah, I can
mhm,
give that to you. Um,
yeah.
Dudes in the theater month next year. Yes, Opera Smurfette. Yes, yes, yes. You're not on Twitch, so you can't
White
see
men
this.
have a voice.
But
Finally, finally, it's time.
don't encourage him. He'll be wanting a White History Month next. It's like no, it's no.
No. I've read enough white history. Yeah,
So here it is.
yeah,
Equity.
mhm,
Everybody can have the thing. Equity. Everybody gets dinner.
right.
Equality. Are you eating tomorrow? You individual person, are you eating tomorrow? So maybe I need to give you dinner and a bag of groceries?
Right.
That's equality because then that brings people to a level where we can all function
Right.
in the same space.
Oh, and that to me is what one that like to me I and I'm a big ascriber to the freedom idea that until everybody has it, nobody does.
Nope.
Yeah. Um,
They don't have a snap emoji on here, but yes, you need snaps for that.
yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
It's a simple what aphorism or saying. It just yeah.
Yeah.
No, this makes sense to me.
No,
Um,
that's totally the thing too. Yeah, until we all can have it
we don't really
equally,
have
we
it, do
don't
we?
really have it.
Right.
You know.
And I
Um
find that's funny for so many, like how we can have all these wonderful ideals in a democracy, and then, but I don't. but if you do, then I don't get what I want. Stupid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or, the concept is because you've taken it away from someone else, which indicates that there's not enough for everyone, which we
Right,
already know is a lie.
right. It's the zero
So,
sum game. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So if I have that, then that means you're not going to get it. You know,
yeah.
so yeah, and I think for theater, to stay
Bring
focused,
her on back. Yeah,
we can go off here.
yeah. Well, let's
This
talk
is
about NASCAR next.
right. They're
Let's see.
making a left turn. Wait, okay.
They're driving straight now.
Yeah. Oh, and now they're
Let's
making
turn
a
left
left
again
turn.
at where it turns left.
Yep, yep.
They're done with the
Um,
left turning. They're going straight again.
oh my gosh.
What left turn coming?
Right? That's it. When
That was
we're
very
looking
dumb.
at, this is where I feel community theater has a unique opportunity,
Right.
because unlike the equity theaters that have to keep big theaters open and things on, stage, and they're these
Right.
great productions, and
They
I
got to
am
make
not
their
taking
20,
anything
30,000 a
from
show. Yeah.
them. They're great. I love to
Yeah.
go see the big ones.
Right. They're going to sushi. We're hamburgers.
Yeah, or a bag of chips at the end
Yeah.
of the day. I
Fries,
always,
but
when I talk to people about what SARTA does and who we are, they're like, "Oh, I go to," and they'll run off Broadway, Sacramento, B Street Theater. I said, "Those are equity." And then I
yeah.
get to have another conversation with them,
Yeah.
because they're like, "Well, what's equity?" I said, "They get paid."
Yeah.
Community theater people are doing this because they love, love, love,
Mhm.
and have a passion for what they're doing.
Yeah.
The vast majority of them are not making any profit on this. So while you may kvetch about,
Yeah.
you're going to pay $25 for a ticket, I said, that's an evening of entertainment that these people are giving to you out of the goodness of their hearts,
Right. Like
basically.
if I do the math on how many hours I've put into getting to draft 11 of this thing,
Right?
uh, and the amount of money I'm spending out of pocket to rent a theater at Bargain Basement, I am not paying anybody full-time wages.
Mm-hmm.
Of the four-ish people that I'm paying for their services, nobody is making a minimum wage, even a minimum wage, anything close to it. And certainly I'm not going to by the end of this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Because we care.
Yeah. There's a certain intrinsic joy that we
Yeah.
get from doing theater, going to see theater, being excited for our friends who are in theater for what
Yeah.
they're doing, um the sheer enjoyment of that, and you can't put a monetary link onto this kind of thing, because I've seen, truthfully, crap theater that I've paid a lot of money for,
Right.
and I've seen outstanding community theater
Yeah.
that I feel like I probably should have given them more money for that ticket because it was truly worth
Right.
it. You
Right.
know?
That's the pricelessness of art,
Yeah.
right? Like I've seen I've seen shows of late that I didn't care for the subject matter
Mm-hmm.
and spent $50
Mm-hmm.
to go for one seat to watch it. Um, Production was great. People acting was good.
Yeah.
Lighting was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't care. Um,
Yeah.
and I've sat in a small theater, having like a discount ticket given or even a comp handed to me, and you find that moment that changes you. And that is what I think we're really aiming at in art, is finding that moment of I I am witnessing this now.
Yeah.
I am actively in the room with this right now. And I think when we get discouraged about theater, it's because we don't get that, and we're hungry. Once we found it, we're hungry for it again.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
want that again.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which is
then
why it's so exciting when you can have that again and you go, yes.
yeah,
Ah, that was so good. Let's go sit down and have a cup of tea and talk about it for another hour.
right, yeah. No, this requires pie. Welcome back, bud.
Or
Oh,
yeah,
he's over
wake up the dog. Sorry. Sorry, Rando. Don't mind us.
Sorry, Rando. Yep, you're
Hey,
back. Hi.
Rando. There he is. Oh, with side eye. Dang, Rando. Is that how you feel now?
He's
All
like,
right. I
I am,
know.
I am trying to sleep. I, I have to use the restroom really quick because I've been sucking down water and coffee all morning.
You know what? And this is
Hmm.
the beauty of Twitch and all of this. We can take a break. And so
Fine.
my friends, why don't we take a break? We'll be right back. Give us a moment. Chris and I will both be back with more of this mind-numbing chit-chat. So stick around. Stick around. We'll be right back with you, okay? All righty.
Hey, we're back. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Let's do it. Liquid break. I exist again, and Rando didn't move at all. Oh, I should see what's going on in my inbox, if anything. That's not important. Oh, I love when people start utilizing my language. Nothing important happened on my emails. You just want inches. You don't want to. Do you want to be under the blanket? Do you want the blanket on you, buddy? Ah, I have a rehearsal at like 5:30 that ends right before 7 now. So I'm able to walk across the courtyard into um Bakersfield Mist. Because I have to go support my mom. Well, Julie Anchor from Sons. She hates me calling her mom because I'm an older young man, apparently, and that makes her feel older, that she could be my mom. Yeah. Well, lots of people could be my mom. There Yeah. Yeah, strangest one of the strangest moments in the last few years is dating a grandmother. Mm, okay. Mhm. Yeah. No, I find them more interesting conversations. Like, I can be a jester, but, you know Yeah, I can do these things, but why? Yeah. Yeah, it even says it on the mug of tea. The mug of tea says it's tea. Mhm. Gotcha. Yeah, and I have to re-record my yeah, maybe 12:30, 12:35, gives another 15. Is that alright? And then I will yeah, I need to go re-record this so I can have it on my phone, so when I go running because I need to up my cardio so that when I walk on stage, I do not tire myself out. Yeah, it's a beast. We're figuring out where I can drink water during the show. Yeah, swoop.
Hey, everybody. We're back again,
They're back
and
with
we're going to hang out a little bit longer with our friend Chris Smith here, who's been talking about life, the universe, and everything with us, everything related to theater. We each had a chance to go refresh our drinks and maybe recycle our beverages a little bit. Uh, so now we're prepared to spend a little more time before he's got to take off for a rehearsal. Go figure, the life of an actor, you know.
Mhm. And and Rando, I like to point out, went nowhere.
He changed position. He's sort of lengthwise now. I can see his lovely little
This is the
golden
benefit of
hair.
having him on a
Oh, and a swivel chair.
Yeah, he can come
Rando,
back
don't get
over
too
here and I can
excited about all this, okay?
scratch his little head. Oh,
Okay, we have talked about so many things. I want to woof.
yeah.
I want to throw one or two more things in here for us. So I'm gonna hit record, and we're gonna talk a little bit now about one of the major reasons we're doing such a long broadcast is
Mhm.
Big Day of Giving,
Yeah.
which is a time for all of us nonprofits to get together and try and fundraise some major monies for our year. And I know that volunteerism is part of what we like to encourage too. So if anybody's out there and they want to volunteer for SARTA, we would love to have you. As you just heard Chris share earlier, he's got people who have to do things for his show. It would really be neat if he could get a volunteer to do, I don't know, sounds, lights, that kind of stuff, stage managing. Um,
Mm.
so if you want to do that kind of thing, you can. Chris, what prompted you to think that SARTA was a worthy investment for your time?
Um, Mostly the money. I'm still waiting on the check.
Mm. It's in the mail, right? Okay.
I keep sending invoices for each of these things.
Yeah.
Um, no, it's I think said it earlier, and this has been what I tell people about SARTA is like SARTA is about helping all of theater versus one particular theater. Like you can have a favorite theater. There's no reason not to give to your favorite theater. Um, but if you like the theater community and you're a fan of multiple theaters, SARTA uh, is a central, it should be and can be a central hub for those theaters. Because SARTA's goal is not necessarily to, well, if SARTA is helped, other theaters get helped. If
Absolutely.
you go help one theater, that theater gets helped.
Right. The monies that come into SARTA help Chris put on the Tonight Starring program
Mhm.
because it allows us to have the money to buy the rights to a show so that they can put it on. It helps us if we have to give money to the theater where that show gets put on. If they aren't able to donate the theater space, then we have had to pay for it, and we
Yep.
pay for that so that these actors can get their dream up on stage.
Yep.
We bring refreshments. We serve everything from hot chocolate and cookies to wine, depending on the night you're there. So,
Right.
all of those things cost us money. Much of it is, through the most of it is through donations. We
Yeah.
don't have the membership base that we had when we had the Ellie's program, because the Ellie program, when theaters, paid their dues and paid their Ellie fees, and we did the judging, and then we put on the big celebration at the end of the year, all of that generated its own self. Well, post pandemic, that's just not a possibility anymore. We have been giving away what we call for our YES program, Youth Education Scholarships, $200 to $300 per child to have young people go to theater workshops and camps and things like that. And that season is about to ramp up again. School's going to be out pretty soon. We're going to be looking at people sending us, requests for those. We have instituted now a micro grant program for theaters and producers and things like that. And I happen to know that someone has asked for a grant because we did see an application come through, and we'd like to be able to fund great people like this so that they can put
I
on
would
their
like them to
shows.
fund me as well.
Yes. You know, I might have an in with some people on the board, so we might be able to hook
Right.
that up. Okay. But this is what we're spending the money for. This is what we're out here fundraising for. This is why we are passionate about keeping community theater and helping them maintain the quality and integrity of what they put on stage for you.
Right.
Um,
And I will throw another thing in there that you didn't hit. You might have been getting to it, but I haven't talked in a while. So, uh,
your turn. Okay.
yeah, like one of the things that SARTA can do that other theaters can't do is also advertise for the theaters.
Yes. Yeah.
Other theaters, although you might have members of a cast that are, friends with somebody in another cast and say, I like this show, or go see the show, or like the post. SARTA has the ability in our modern world within the social media realm to advertise for everyone.
That was the concept behind the inception of our Twitch, channel.
Yeah,
We're going to put together a listing of everything that's going on. And we list it as this week at the theater. And I come on Tuesday nights and tell you what's opening, what's now playing, where the auditions are, who's having a special event, who's got job openings, who needs help, who needs
right.
volunteers. And occasionally great community conversations like this get to be shared. So it's a very cool world that we have evolved into after that
Yeah,
too, and that is a way to help all the theaters, not just one or two.
yeah. No, it's really a nice and without like there's one of the things that I appreciate about SARTA is that it doesn't have like there isn't a criticism area. It's like there are the things that could be part of SARTA, which would be the this show is the best show this week.
Mm,
Or we didn't like this show. But that is not something that SARTA does either. There's no critical analysis. It's just this is what's happening.
yeah, yeah.
And it's up to you whether or not you like it or not and want to go see. Like, I'm not a big musical guy. Sorry. You know, but
It's okay.
so
I'll take the bullet and go see your musicals for you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
I do have to see them occasionally. Ugh.
Force
But,
yourself.
right. But it is one of those like, you know, SARTA is going to treat something that I'm not drawn to in the same way as they're going to treat something that I am.
Oh, yes. Equal opportunity on
Yeah.
this. I mean, yeah, we don't choose sides.
Yeah.
We share it all.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. That's what the community is in community theater. We want
Right.
everyone to have a chance to have their shows seen, have their voices heard, have their theater celebrated in
Yeah.
a way that they might not necessarily get.
Yeah. Because we're having run a theater for a year, there aren't many allies that SARTA there aren't many allies in the way that SARTA can be
Mm, mm,
to a theater of just like I can't ask another theater company in town, no matter how much they love me, no matter how much I schmooze, no matter how much I promise, no matter how much I help out there, I can't ask another theater to advertise my show.
right,
Can't
right,
do it.
right,
Um, um, because I have to battle for my own artists, and as a theater person who makes things, I have to, as an individual, maintain my integrity with other individuals. And I can tell somebody I didn't. This wasn't my favorite show. I thought they could have done this. This wasn't done so great. I can do that as an individual.
right.
But SARTA as a collective does not um, make those judgments, which means it's open
Yeah, yeah.
to everybody.
That's never been our job. We've never been the critiquers
Yeah,
of shows. We want everybody's show to get an equal opportunity to be seen and be heard and things like that. And I think that's what's been intriguing about programs like Tonight Starring. We have another one coming up pretty soon. We finally set a date and got a
uh-huh.
person. Maggie Upton is going to be doing her original work with us.
Oh wow,
And we're so excited because this is another opportunity for people like Chris who are writing shows to workshop them, get them in front of people, get real feedback on what did you think? How is this going?
right.
What should I change? What should we keep? What should we get out? And that's part of the iterative process of writing. So
Well, and
SARTA is happy to be starting that particular program too.
right, 'cause I will say that the hardest thing about a theater company when it comes to like real, really building work from the writing up so that it's show ready
Mm,
is that it is a giant drain on resources and time,
Mm,
both people power and money. You need space and time and people to be there constantly giving you notes, feeding into it, when a theater can just, for the same exact outcome of selling tickets, just go, I'm just going to go get rights to this thing that I already know works.
right.
So
Yeah.
if you want to do original work, you need somebody to champion it and sacrifice to help you get there.
Right.
And most theater companies, reasonably so, just don't have the resources or time, when the easy answer is, I'm going to go get the rights to this show that people know about.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I know this one will bring in money, so I'm just going to do this.
Right. Who are
Yeah.
you again? A small Sacramento writer? Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm
Your 10
sorry.
friends are going to come see the show? All right.
I want to
But
see the new artworks get just as much, airtime, if you will, as the tried and true stuff. I mean, we're
right.
always going to go see that, but there may be that next great, play
All right. Playwright, director.
coming down the pike. And if we don't support that, it's not going to happen. I really enjoy all the new play festivals that are starting to pop up again, and
Yeah.
we've actually, contemplated, if this is where we're headed, we've got a lot of people who might be able to, be part of a festival like that SARTA could sponsor, because we're not a production company. We don't have any skin in the game to favorite any one thing.
Yeah.
Let's put them all out there. Come on.
And as a writer, one of the things that Starta can do, that, and it's part of the viewpoint, right? Of I, as a theater company, I have to do what's right for my theater company. I have to focus on what we can achieve, and I can see the holes in what I need. Um, Maybe we're not doing this sort of show, and our audience wants this, so we're going to amend a little bit here. But they don't have a community-wide perspective.
Right.
And
Right.
what does the SARTA's question is, what does the theater community need?
Yeah. So,
Not
yeah.
what does my individual theater company need?
Right.
So the more money that goes towards, for Big Day of Giving, the more money that goes towards SARTA, the more they get to ask the broader question about the entirety of the community versus, what do I need?
Right.
What
Right.
what do we as a collective need in our theater company? Well, we need more. We need to be able to pay a scenic designer a bit more. Well, that's your individual problem.
Yeah.
We need more writers, or we need more opportunities for actors, or we need to advertise more for all of the shows.
Mhm.
That's a SARTA umbrella.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's been a wonderful evolution that we've been on. So I'm being mindful of your time too, and I appreciate you so much, Chris, for coming and chatting with me this morning. But he's got to get to rehearsal, y'all, and we've got to cut this part short. I have more coming up for you, so stick around. But thank you, Chris Smith. It's been
You're
a
welcome.
delight as always to
It
sit and
kind of
talk with
is
you.
most of the time, isn't it?
It, you know, it's probably good we don't live closer, because we'd be in each other's kitchen with coffee and tea in the
Right.
morning
And
and
I'm like,
nothing would get done.
this is the problem with me and doing any work whatsoever and knowing people I enjoy. Um, it's like, I have work to do. However, this is much
However,
more
I could
enjoyable.
kill 2 or 3 hours over here. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right, my friends. I will be right back. Chris will be off to his rehearsal. Please go and check out his show. Chris, did we tell him when the show was?
Yes, May 10th through 19th at the Uli Theater. Fridays, Saturdays, 8 p.m., Sundays, 2 p.m. Keeping it to a $20 ticket. There are student and senior discounts. It is also streaming if you are not in the Sacramento area or you do not want to put on pants.
See, the second, that would be me. Pants?
Yeah, it's like,
Can I come in
do I want
leggings and
to,
slippers?
like,
Okay.
I don't want to drive anywhere. I
Right,
can just
right.
open up the computer and do it. Yeah, so, and we're potentially doing a third weekend, and we're debating a sort of industry night, because people do shows, in the sense this is a show about artists, um and I know some people are like, oh, I can't make it because I have a show. Well, put your money where your mouth is. Tuesday night.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You could be your own Tonight starring.
I've tried it.
Okay. All right, Chris. Thank you again so much for being here with us. Thank you guys for hanging out with us for this part. Stay tuned for the next iteration because I will be right back. Will you please
Say
stop
bye to
disturbing
Rando.
Rando? Please,
Yeah,
Rando, honey.
Rando, what's that?
Rando,
What's up
hi.
there? What is it?
Just one more. That's that face. I love this face. This dog. This dog.
What's
So
going on up there?
so
I'm
cute. You want me to stop sleeping for what, Dad? All right. All right, you guys. I'll be right back. You take care. Thanks so much, Chris and Rando.
Yep. Say bye. All right. Yeah, no worries. Right. Yeah, no, I am. Oh, oh, fancy. Take care. Have a fantastic day. Bye.
Uh-oh. Okay, so I'm going to try something. My camera has died a horrible, horrible death, but I know you can hear me. I know you can hear me. All right. I'm not sure why it's having such an issue at all. I'm going to try one or two more things to see if I can get it to come in. And if it doesn't work, we're just going to proceed without it because doggone it. Technology today. Why is it against me? I don't understand. All right. Let's do. Let me check a few things in here. Let me see if my camera is. No, it says it's on. All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know. So you get this weird frozen image of me. How odd. Okay, whatever. Well, maybe it'll come back. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this last section because I did some updates and I wanted to share with you what's happening this week at the theater for April 27th. Last time I shared this, it was Tuesday, and now we've had some more shows open, so I wanted to actually bring those to you and let you know what was going on. And thank you all for being here with me. This is SARTA. Please visit our website at sarta.com and check out more of the things that we've got going on in our local Sacramento community theater area. We have a community calendar there that lists all the shows that are running and everything that's happening. So please, please, please check us out. If you are a theater company or you've got a production coming up or you've got auditions coming up, you can go to our page and put that information in. All of these things are made possible by the generous donations that you all make for the big day of giving, which is coming up next week, May 2nd. But early giving is open right now. You do not have to wait to be a part of the support system for SARTA. If you were here with us earlier, you heard me sitting and chatting with our friend Chris Smith, who has been instrumental in helping us put on our Tonight Starring productions and is a huge supporter and friend and ally of SARTA. And we both were making a huge case for a couple of hours there on why and how community theater can be so impactful, not just in the life of the community at large, but in the lives of the individuals who come and share in that theater space. So I will have that up. Of course, it's going to be on Twitch for about a week, hanging about, but I will upload that to our YouTube page also. And I recorded it, so I will bring it back as a community conversation because it was a great one. We got into some deep topics. We had another friend drop in and say, wow, this is, this is intense and fascinating as far as our conversation was concerned. So we're not all about just fun and games. I mean, theater may seem like a lightweight thing, but it can be cathartic. It can be purgative. It can be life changing for so many people. And that's why we want to help keep our community theaters open, viable, and on our stages. So please, 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 if you're thinking of giving on May 2nd or you'd like to do it earlier, please consider SARTA for one of your gifts. We'd appreciate it. You can help us meet our goals. We've got several initiatives that we're doing. One of them being our Yes program. Here you've got some pictures of our youth productions that we have actually sponsored these young people to go and be a part of these plays. And some of it is just some of the other events and things that we've done around town, from our cabarets to our Tonight Starrings to our karaoke nights. We engage in a lot of silliness and foolishness, and it's so wonderful because it helps us bring in dollars to help support community theater, help send kids like these down at the bottom to camp. I got the chance to go and see this production. It was so much fun. Um, Yeah, help us meet our goals, please. We're looking at all of that. The big day of giving is really coming up, but they started being able to make donations on April 18th. This will be open through May 2nd, so please, please, please become part of the donors and support the programs and initiatives that SARTA has going on for their big day of giving. And we appreciate you so, so much. Thank you. Well, let me tell you about some of the special events that we've got coming up right now, because we've got several. Woodland Opera House is looking for new members for their team. Are you a dance teacher? Might you be able to help them out with this? Because if you could, it would be really great. You could always put your application in with Woodland Opera House. You can contact them at their website. The information is here on the screen for you, woodlandoperahouse.org. They need somebody who could teach dance, and you'll probably be working right away because they've got a lot of young people that they work with. You know, multitasking is a challenging thing. I'm trying to make sure I don't lose anything. So forgive the tapping. There. All right. I have them. Beautiful. All right, moving on. Well, I thought that maybe when it was done doing that, it would reboot the camera, but it doesn't seem to want to do that. Wow. I don't know if you've ever done this before, anybody out there on Twitch who's had a chance to share, but my camera has gotten really, really warm, and I'm thinking maybe it might be time for a new camera. This is kind of frightening. I'm touching it now, and it's quite warm to the touch, which might be why it doesn't want to work anymore. Oh, well, I may have to say goodbye to my camera. That's terrible. Well, let me tell you about this other opportunity that's out there. Empire Arts Collective is looking for some people to help them, actually. So they've got some volunteer opportunities here for you. You can join them to serve as a volunteer on their scholarship application review panel. They would like people to do that, and they are asking for those folks because they're going to have diversity scholarships available for their adult improv classes, and they've got the information here for you to be able to apply for those adult improv class scholarships. So get in touch with Empire Arts Collective. Go check out their website for more information on these amazing opportunities. There's going to be a party at the Preston on May 17th. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. With red plaid shirts and red hot talent. There's a party for Main Street Theater Works as they kick off their 2024 summer season with their spring fundraiser at the Preston Castle. It's going to be in the Visitor Center. It's $40 per person, and you get dinner and the show, so you can get previews of what's coming up in their summer season, along with a showcase of local talent. If you wear a red plaid shirt, you can be entered into their drawing for a pair of season tickets to their 2024 season, and tickets are available at mainstreettheaterworks.org right now, and go find yourself a red plaid shirt. Capital Stage is coming down to the wire for its applications for the apprentice program. Remember, this closes on April 30th. So today's the 27th. You might want to get those applications ready and submitted to Capital Stage so you can have a truly unique experience if you are selected as one of their apprentices for the upcoming season. All right, let's shift gears. Get those headshots and resumes ready because it's time to look at some auditions. The 28th, which is tomorrow, and the 29th, which will be Monday, DMTC, Davis Musical Theater Company, is auditioning for its production of Disney's The Little Mermaid, a Broadway musical. So if you want to be in that show, and you know you want to be in that show, they're doing interviews. Auditions. Well, I guess it is an interview, huh? Yeah. On Sunday, April 28th at 7:30 in the evening, or on Monday, April 29th at 7:30 in the evening with callbacks on April 30th. Yeah, you guys, this month is almost over. It's moving very quickly. More auditions for The Adventures of Tom Sawyer out at Davis Musical Theater Company are happening the following week on May 20th, or following week, in 2 more weeks after that. May 20th at 4:30 or May 21st at 4:30 with callbacks on Wednesday, May 22nd. These are all at Davis Musical Theater Company out on Penna Drive in Davis. This is for their Young Performers Theater Company this time. Coming up next for the Roseville Theater Arts Academy will be their production of Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, the school edition, and they're taking auditions on May 14th at 5 o'clock and callbacks on May 15th at 5 o'clock. So if you're interested in being in this one, it's for ages 13 and older. It's their school edition, a master's production of Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. This is always a favorite play, and this is part of Woodland Opera House's 2024-2025 season that they've got coming up. They're going to do a production of Legally Blonde. So their auditions will be Sunday, June 2nd and Monday, June 3rd coming up. You've seen Legally Blonde. You might have gone to productions of Legally Blonde. Well, you can be in one if you would like to go and audition for this one. So put that in your calendar for Sunday, June 2nd or Monday, June 3rd. Legally Blonde out at the Woodland Opera House. More Rising Stars auditions for Woodland Opera House. This is for the young people, ages 7 to 18 and ages 12 to 18 for Children of Eden Jr. and Mean Girls Jr. They are playing September and November of this year, so they just wanted to get these out here to you early. Auditions for Children of Eden Jr. are going to be Sunday, June 23rd and Monday, June 24th. And then you've got auditions for Mean Girls Jr., Sunday, August 25th, and Monday, August 26th, 6 to 9 p.m. Get your time settled for these Rising Star auditions for the young people's performances, Children of Eden Jr. and Mean Girls Jr. Let's take a look at what's playing right now, and you've got some selections out here. There's a lot of good theater going on right now. I'm going to go see some of it tonight. Woodland Opera House is continuing it with its production of Damn Yankees. It's playing through May 5th, which is a good thing because I had wanted to go this weekend, but clearly I'm not going to get to. This weekend has gotten away from me. Oh my God, it's busy already. But they're still playing, and oh my gosh, it's such a vibrant production. If you've never seen these two people on stage, you need to do this. Rick and Aaron are amazing. And so is, the whole cast is amazing. This is why I gave it a 2-slide promo, because they're just great and you need to see this. It's wonderful singing, amazing dancing. Damn Yankees at Woodland Opera House. If you want to take a bit of a drive up into the foothills, you can go see Keep on Laughing by Paul Elliott. This is an original work production done at the Volcano Theater Company up in Volcano, California. It's a gorgeous place to go and see a play, and all of their theaters are very, very cool. So tickets are on sale right now. This is the sequel to Exit Laughing, which they did back in 2016. So gotta love these world premiere productions. It gives opportunities for our local playwrights to really showcase what they're doing. Keep on Laughing by Paul Elliott. If you want to run over to the Sutter Street Theater in lovely Old Folsom, you can see Anything Goes with music and lyrics by Cole Porter. The original book by P.G. Woodhouse, Guy Bolton, Howard Lindsay, and Russell Krauss. Now, this is playing through May 12th, so you've still got time. It's on Fridays and Saturdays at 7:30. So tonight at 7:30, you could go see Anything Goes. Or if you want to catch a matinee, it's playing also on Sundays at 4:30. Again, this is at Sutter Street Theater. Anything Goes. Playing right now for B Street Theater in their family series is Robin Hood with a very different perspective. Robin Hood by Jerry Montoya playing right now at B Street Theater. This will be in production through May 4th, so get your tickets soon. Another one that's a B Street Theater main stage production is called Wipeout by Aurora Real de Osa. It's playing through May 26th, so you've got plenty of time to get your tickets for this. Hopefully they're going to do it again. They did a 9 for 9 night on April 20th, which is great. And they do this every now and again. They'll do $9 tickets if you'll come to a 9 p.m. showing. And, for a lot of people, if it starts at 9, that means I'm not out till, 11 o'clock at night. And that might be past your bedtime. I know it's kind of past mine sometimes. But I love these shows. And it's an opportunity for you to not spend a whole lot of money on theater tickets, because for some people, they feel like theater's out of their budget area because they can't afford it. So a lot of our theaters are trying to provide those opportunities for a little more of a discount ticket opportunity and get more people in to see great theater. So Wipeout, playing through May 26th at the B Street Theater on their main stage. Coming back to Sutter Street Theater, they've got their production of Sleeping Beauty on stage right now, and it's going to play through May 19th on Saturdays and Sundays at 1 o'clock. Go check it out. You know the story. It's going to be a beautiful production. Sleeping Beauty at Sutter Street Theater. Now, if you want to laugh and you have some nostalgia in you, you can go and see this. It was a play. It was a TV show. It was a movie. It's still a play. The Women's Theater Collective is putting on their production of The Odd Couple, the female version. All female cast. It's playing now through May 5th on Fridays and Saturdays at 8 and Sundays at 2 p.m. at the Uli Theater, 2007 28th Street down in Sacramento. You're going to love it. You can go see Florence Unger and Olive Madison. They're at it again in Neil Simon's hilarious contemporary comic classic, The Odd Couple, the female version. Another one that's going to be a classic, and this is already a wonderful children's book, is Roseville Theater Arts Academy's production of Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus, the musical. If you haven't read this story, I've told you before, you need to, because it's just the cutest thing ever. And I can only imagine when you've got a bunch of little children acting it out, it's going to be that much cuter. All right. April 20th through the 28th, so it's playing right now. It closes tomorrow, so you got today and tomorrow to get your chance to go see Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus, the musical. This I got to go and see last weekend. Oh my goodness. Last weekend was a good theater weekend for me. I went to see The Odd Couple on its opening night, which was amazing. You need to see that. And then I went Saturday night to see this one, Leaving Iowa. It was poignant. It was funny. It was heartrending. It made you feel all the feels and just told a wonderful story of this glorious family. Leaving Iowa is playing through May 19th at the Chautauqua Playhouse. So please go check it out. I was just talking with another friend who's going to go see this show tonight over at R25. It's called Bakersfield Mist. It's playing through May 5th, so you still have another weekend, but don't rest on your laurels. I'm sure they've got tickets for tonight and possibly tickets for a matinee tomorrow. So get your tickets for Bakersfield Mist at R25 right now. Also playing at Big Idea Theater, and I think this is going to be my winner chicken dinner for this evening, is Pocatello by Samuel D. Hunter. I really would like to go and see this, so I think I'm going to make this my theater choice for tonight. I hope I see you out there. If you want to go over to the City Theater and check it out, they're doing Emilia. This is based on a story that is still our story about History, Her Story, Our Story. It's playing through May 11th on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays at 7:30, and then Sundays at 2 o'clock. So if you can't make it tonight, you can make it to the matinee tomorrow. Emilia. This is also playing right now. In fact, it opens today out at Chautauqua Theater. It's their children's theater production of Red versus the Wolf. So you know you're going to want to see this, and it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be super cute because you've got little kids in it. Come on now. It's playing today, April 27th through May 11th. Saturdays at 1 o'clock. So there's no reason that you can't make it down there and enjoy this show. If you ever wanted to hear the real story of Red Riding Hood, you need to hear the wolf's side. He may not be as big and bad of a character as you've been told all these years. And now for something completely different, you can go to a devised play called The Clementine Crusade. This is being put on by Empire Arts Collective. It opened last night, it's playing tonight and Friday, May 3rd, Saturday, May 4th, Friday, May 10th, and Saturday, May 11th. It's only $15 for your tickets to this, and the doors open at 7:30 in the evening with the show at 8 o'clock. Get your tickets at empireartscollective.org for Clementine Crusade. Into the Woods is playing right now at Davis Musical Theater Company, and it's going to run through May 19th. This will be at the Gene Henderson Performing Arts Center out in Davis on Penna Drive. Into the Woods without delay. You want to go and see it. You're probably singing the songs already. I can hear it. We've been waiting for this one to open. This opened last night, Snow Falling on Cedars. It's being presented by the Community Asian Theater of the Sierra in association with the Nevada Theater. It's a wonderful show by David Gerson, and it's being directed by the same gentleman that directed it several years ago, and it came up for so many awards during that Ellie season. It's just a great show, a great story, and I'm sure it's going to be a great performance. Snow Falling on Cedars, Community Asian Theater of the Sierras, now through May 18th. I told you we had a lot of things that were playing right now, but you know what? We got some cool stuff coming soon too. So get ready to check your calendars and put a few of these on it. Cry It Out by Molly Smith Metzler is coming to Sacramento for its premiere production, May 1st through June 2nd. Now, this is something that a lot of our theaters are doing now. They're doing performances with no intermission. So this is going to be 90 minutes, no intermission. So you better get your snacks and probably make a trip to recycle your beverages before you go sit down, because you're going to be engaged in this. It's called Cry It Out. It opens on May 1st, plays through June 2nd at Capitol Stage. The Howe Avenue Theater Company is offering its 4 plays examining human frailty called Damaged Goods. These are written by T.F. Cahill and it's directed by Kate Muris. These are playing at the Howe Avenue Theater, 2100 Cottage Way in Sacramento. You're going to see Tattoos, which focuses on kindred spirits, Hummingbird, which is grief unattended, Parts, which is shelf life, and 10 pounds, the gains and losses and old friends. So all the performances are benefiting the Rotary District over there and Integral Productions at St. Mary's College, Sacramento Turnpike. So get your tickets. You can purchase them on Eventbrite or you can give them a call. Go to the Howe Avenue Theater Company website for more information on damaged goods. Now, if you'd like something a little more mysterious in your life, you can go see some Sherlock Holmes. This is the production called Sherlock Holmes, The Speckled Band, and it's being done by Placer Repertory Theater. It's playing May 3rd and May 4th only. That's a Friday, Saturday only. So if you want to see this, you should get your tickets soon, because I'm sure these will not last because it's only 2 nights. Tickets are available on Eventbrite, and you can check out Placer Repertory Company's website at placerrep.org for more information. Now, if you need to move it, you can go see Madagascar, a musical adventure junior production with the Davis Musical Theater Company. This is their young performers theater. They're doing a Madagascar, a musical adventure junior. It's going to open on May 4th and it will play through May 26th on Saturdays at 2, um, and Fridays and Saturdays, sorry about that, at 7, and then Sundays at 2. There we go. That was a little confusing, even for me. But if you want more information or to just get your tickets for Madagascar, you can go to the Davis Musical Theater Company website right now and purchase your tickets, and then you'll be able to move it too. Now, more coming to Roseville Theater Arts Academy this spring. May 3rd, a youth and little ones production of Disney's Moana Jr. will be being presented, and then they'll follow it up on June 21st through the 23rd with their youth edition of Once Upon a Mattress. Roseville Theater Arts Academy is always giving children so many opportunities at so many different age ranges to be a part of community theater, and we thank them for that. If you want something a little different, and God bless them, Green Valley Theater Company is always doing something a little different. This one's called Ride the Cyclone. The book and music and lyrics are by Brooke Maxwell and Jacob Richmond. This is going to be opening on May 10th and playing through June 2nd at the Cal Cap Black Box Theater. All tickets for this show are $25. They will have Fridays and Saturdays 8 p.m. and then Sundays at 2 o'clock for their matinees. Coming to Woodland Opera House in June will be Peter and the Starcatcher. That's going to open on June 14th and play through the 30th, and that will be their final production in the 2023 season. 2023-2024 season of this year. This will be their final show. Peter and Starcatcher. So for all you Peter Pan folk out there, this might be the time to get to Woodland Opera House to see this production. The final main stage show of the season at Chautauqua Playhouse will be One Slight Hitch, written by Lewis Black. Yes, if you think that name sounds familiar, it does. The comedian Lewis Black. This is going to be on stage June 14th through July 14th on Fridays and Saturdays at 8 and then again on Sundays at 2. One Slight Hitch by Lewis Black. I do plan on going to see that too because I think Lewis Black is hysterical. Celebration Arts is bringing its next piece in the season of Black Girl Magic that they're presenting. This one's called Top Dog, Underdog. It's a play by Suzanne Laurie Parks, and it's being directed by Melinda Wilson Rainey. You can get your tickets right now at celebrationarts.net or give them a call at their box office. This will be playing June 7th through the 30th. Top Dog, Underdog. And I've already heard this is a powerful show. So I don't expect anything less of Celebration Arts, right? And then our final piece that we want to share with you is going to be the New Comedies Festival for 2024. This is being presented by B Street Theater, and it's going to open up on July 17th and play through the 21st. So you've got a weekend of the funnies, right? It's going to be on the Voris main stage, and you can go to the website for B Street Theater for more information on tickets, how to get yours, what else might be being presented, and now you know you want to go. So, just go ahead and get your tickets for the New Comedies Fest 2024. All right, my friends, I'm going to quickly go through the season schedules because I share these with you all the time, but you might want to take a look at what's coming up and start planning them. If some of these names look familiar, it's because I've already posted audition notices for at least 3 of these shows already. I'm looking forward to going to see Puffs. I really enjoyed it the last time I saw it, and I want to see it again. And I missed White Christmas the last time they did it, and I want to go and see this show. So I'm going to go see that. And then we'll take a look at 2025 and see what's good in there. Amelie is always good, and Something Rotten just looks like it might be totally funny. So lots to choose from the Woodland Opera House's 2024-2025 season. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. Volcano Theater Company is moving on with their season. Paul Elliott's Keep on Laughing is on stage right now. They'll be following that up in June with Drinking Habits. Then again in August, they're going to shift to Charlotte's Web, a beloved book by E.B. White. This will be a great story for everybody to go and see. And then for the holidays, they're doing the Christmas Foundling at their Cobblestone Theater, November 8th through December 14th. So put those on your calendar so you can get a chance to go out to Volcano Theater Company and check them out. Sutter Street Theater, as you saw, has something for everybody at every time of the day and the evening and every age range going on. So they've got their off Broadway series, which right now has Anything Goes playing. And they've also got their family series, which right now has Sleeping Beauty playing. As you can see, they've got great things coming up all the way through the year, including some of their regular classics like Evil Dead, the musical, and Holiday in the Hills. Make sure you go ahead and you know what? This is one of those theaters where you could get season tickets. It might behoove you to make that investment so that you just have your tickets ready for any of their great productions. Sutter Street Theater is in Old Folsom, California. You can contact them at sutterstreettheater.com or give them a call. Davis Musical Theater Company is wrapping up their season rapidly. Into the Woods is on stage right now and will be followed up by The Little Mermaid, which I just shared the audition notices for. So they're still making progress to wrap up their 2023-2024 season. It's their 39th season of musicals. So let's turn the page because here's what's happening for their 40th anniversary season. They're going to open with Jekyll and Hyde, then do My Fair Lady. They've got another one that they say they cannot officially announce until July, but I'll let you know what it is ahead of time. I happen to know now, but I'm going to honor their little blackout here and not tell you that I happen to know that it's 42nd Street. Oh, what? I never said that. Anyway, they're going to do Young Frankenstein, Sister Act, and then wrap up their season with The Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's a good selection for a 40th anniversary season, and congratulations, DMTC. The Woodland Opera House is finishing out its main stage season with Damn Yankees, which is playing right now. And then, as I announced, they'll be wrapping it up with Peter and the Starcatcher. So if you haven't caught any of these, please get your tickets soon because this is about to be gone. Speaking of being gone, please let us publicize your program or your theater. We want to tell people what's going on in your neck of the woods. You can go to that link, sarta.com/shows. You can go to our shows and auditions page on our website. Go to the bottom, pick out your form, and put your information and your show posters in. Give us your pictures from your cast, and let us tell everybody how great a show you're putting on. This is what we're here for. We are your free publicity. If you were listening to our earlier conversation with Chris Smith, that was one of the value-added things for SARTA. We will help you publicize. We'll put it all over our newsletters, all over our website, all over our public media and social media. So let us help tell the community what a great job you're doing at your local theater and how amazing your shows are that you're putting on. If you have not done so and you're new here, I've been on here for a while today. You could follow us by touching that little heart button, and then you'll get a notification every time the Twitch show comes up. I typically do this week at the theater on Tuesday nights. Sometimes I'll shift the time around a little bit depending on how crazy my days are. But I'm usually joining you at that time so you can plan for your weekends. So you can join us there. You can also follow us on Facebook, where you can also leave us information, because if you've got a show opening, something going on, something closing, some auditions you need to tell us about, you can drop that notice there too. And I do cruise out there and pull things off to put into this Twitch show, so hopefully I won't miss it, so that we can tell people what's going on at your great programs, okay? Woof, you guys, I've been with you since 10:30 this morning. Did you know that? I bet you didn't. I started at 10:30. So it's been almost 3 hours. And I am so glad that I've put in my 3-hour commitment. My commitment was to SARTA and to, I'm going to end show because I want to go back to something, and to really promoting for this particular event, which is the big day of giving. This is coming up on May 2nd, but you do not have to wait until then to be a part of our giving crew. We would love for you to make an early donation. They have lowered it so that the initial donation is just as small as $10. So if if I could get 100 people to give us $10, that's a lot of money already. And that would be amazing toward helping us keep some of our programs going that we are sponsoring in our community. Some of our events, like our uh, youth and education scholarships, we call it the YES program. We like sending children to theater camp. And you know what? All of these children here are ones that we have sent to theater camp this last year, thanks to the generous donations that you've given us. So we'd want to do more of that. We've had our cabaret series running. Thanks to your generous donations, we've hosted karaoke nights and other events. And, to help raise money and raise awareness for other community activities, because usually we're doing some sort of collection or extra thing for those events. Please come out and help us meet our goals, be successful, see everybody that we need to see in our community, send more children to camp. We gave out over $2,200 worth of scholarships last year, and we'd like to do more of that. We also have our theater stipend program that we're doing now. We're doing micro grants for theaters, just so they can have a little extra money. Do you need to get the rights to that play? Do you need some extra money to go and get fabric and materials for costumes or set design? Whatever it is, we'd like theaters to be able to come to us and ask for those things, and we need to be able to fund them. And we can't do that without support from you. So, this big day of giving, please think about us. Please remember us. Please consider sharing with us at that time. And, as always, I wrap it up with my little spiel that I give you. Please go to the theater. Go out there and see some of the amazing theater that's going on. I know I'm scrolling and that's so rude. But I need to get back to the bottom again. Go out and see some of the amazing theater that's out there, because there's a lot going on right now. There are so many great plays, great productions out there. And I say this to you each week. I really do hope I see you somewhere at the theater. And if you see me, please say hi, because I'd love to get your feedback and some input and maybe talk you into becoming a SARTA member, okay? All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day and take care. Have a good weekend. Bye.